My pleasure, everyone. In the moments to come, a narrative so incredible will be revealed. Anyone who has ever been enchanted by Elizabeth Taylor's magnetic presence can attest to the fact that she was perpetually pushing the boundaries of style, glitz, and invention. Did you know that Elizabeth Taylor wore a see-through bikini once? Your words were entirely misunderstood by me. I have some famous images to show you that made a big splash when they were released, but only if you'll stay till the very end. You must see these images in person, so remain put. Okay, let's begin by setting the scenario. Elizabeth Taylor was a famous actress from the 20th century who was known for her controversial love life, glamour, and beautiful looks. She became a Hollywood icon both on and off television. The scandals surrounding Elizabeth's love connections and her appearances in Hollywood blockbusters like Cleopatra kept her in the headlines constantly. The photo of her wearing a transparent bikini during her trip is the one that stands out. Comments on how brave, daring, and surprising it was poured in because it was anything but a plain old bikini. So why did this entire situation start? While Elizabeth Taylor was on vacation in the 1960s, the whole incident unfolded amidst the ongoing discussion regarding women's bikinis, a subject that was anything but boring, especially for an iconic woman like herself. Elizabeth, who was fearless in the face of change, was a lady who was always one step ahead of the curve. The release of these photos caused an immediate sensation. While basking in the sun and listening to the waves crash, Elizabeth bravely lived her life to the fullest. Because she was wearing an incredibly revealing bikini made of sheer fabric at the time, the photos were even more striking. Contrary to what one would anticipate a Hollywood celebrity to wear, the see-through bikini was dangerous, alluring, and brazen. There would have been more whispers than cries if a public figure wore that style of bikini when they were considered to be more reserved at that age. Of course, Elizabeth is an exception. It appeared to say something because of how confidently she wore it. Naturally, there was a lot of excitement about these photos. What they were witnessing as a whole was incredible. What gave Hollywood's glamour queen, the legendary Elizabeth Taylor, the gall to walk the red carpet in such a provocative number? Many were quick to laud it, claiming that her unapologetic and free attitude was beautifully reflected in this icon-worthy trait. But there were many who felt it was too bold and others who thought it was extreme. You could feel her impact, though. The uproar over these ubiquitous photos caused her to become considerably more famous. We may talk about the significance of this turning point now. Elizabeth Taylor was a role model in many respects, but this shot of her in a small bikini highlights her fearlessness the best. To her, it made no difference what other people thought. Her unwavering determination to forge her own path exuded an air of confidence. Elizabeth boldly displayed her sexy and powerful side at a time when women were expected to be quiet and obedient. The significance of coming to terms with her physicality and creating her own narrative superseded the bikini. This well-known individual utterly disregarded societal standards on what was considered appropriate in relation to behavior, appearance, and mindset. However, it is important to take the past into account. The expanding feminist movement and women's challenging of traditional gender standards in the 1960s caused cultural shifts. While Hollywood was all about taking risks, fashion was about rejecting old-fashioned values of modesty and purity. Elizabeth Taylor's see-through bikini during this time of tremendous sexual and political change mirrored the changing views on women's bodies and sexuality. She was a driving force behind a social movement that was empowering women to express themselves more fully both on and off the beach. Imagine it as if it were taking place presently. With the growing power of public opinion, celebrity culture, and social media, occurrences such as these would undoubtedly receive much greater attention. What could the modern internet say if we were to ask it this question? Instagram postings and Twitter chats would be absolutely wild if the interest level were that high. Based on who you ask, she would either be praised for being a true trailblazer or criticized for disclosing too much. Regardless, it was a huge deal back in the 60s. A cultural moment that empowered other women to love and accept their bodies. The photo of Elizabeth Taylor in her see-through bikini went beyond just a simple fashion statement. But we must not lose sight of the images themselves. When Elizabeth is spotted on a beach in her iconic bikini, onlookers still gasp. Despite only wearing a bikini, she had an air of confidence, beauty, and authority. Her performance proved that one's inner attributes, not their external surroundings, determine their genuine beauty, sensuality, and classiness are not mutually exclusive. In retrospect, Elizabeth's courage astounds us. The behavior that goes with the bikini is what matters most. Through challenging traditional notions of beauty and speaking out for herself, she became a powerful advocate for change. More significant than her ostentatious jewelry collection or glittering clothing was her bravery in defying norms and being genuine. Elizabeth Taylor had a risky swimwear moment. What can we learn from it? First and foremost, taking pride in one's appearance and one's clothing is a way to express oneself. A clear definition of beautiful beauty does not exist, as Elizabeth proved. She was already famous before she sullied herself in a see-through bikini. With assurance, she revealed the real key to style. If you wear anything as striking or unusual as Elizabeth, people will definitely take notice of you. Lastly, as we approach the end, think about the enduring impact that Elizabeth Taylor had. We may learn to be ourselves from bold and strong women who have had amazing film careers. Like Elizabeth so convincingly showed in her see-through bikini and elsewhere, the most beautiful thing is to be confident and comfortable in one's own skin. Is Elizabeth's now famous bikini scene something you can relate to? She seemed quite confident and empowered, but the question is if that was too much or just another sign of her strength. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Please subscribe if you would like to see more films like this, give it a like if you agree, and share it with your friends if you think they would enjoy it. Make sure you come back for part 2. We are so grateful to have you here with us today.